All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something big coming out of Uttar Pradesh, India's most populous state. We're talking about a huge 25-year plan for the future, and it connects some things you would never expect to see in the same sentence.
So get this, on one single day, the state government announced a space program, a patriotic campaign, and a huge long-term vision. I mean, at first glance, those things seem totally unrelated, right? But believe me, they are all pieces of the same puzzle. Let's start connecting those dots.
Okay, so first things first, let's zoom out and look at the big picture here. The heart of all this is a new roadmap for the state's future. It's officially called the Vision Document 2047.
So what is this thing really? Well, it's a massive government plan, and its ambition is frankly huge. The goal is to turn Uttar Pradesh into a global leader. We're talking economically, socially, and culturally, all by the year 2047. Think of this document as the glue, the thing that holds all these different announcements together.
And this whole plan is built on 5 core pillars. You've got modernizing agriculture, jumping headfirst into new technology, seriously strengthening the education system, boosting the economy, and of course, celebrating culture. You can see, this isn't about small changes. It's really a blueprint for a total overhaul.
Okay, so a grand vision is one thing, right? But how are they actually going to do it? What are the tools they're building to make this happen? Because this isn't just wishful thinking on paper. There are real, concrete projects already kicking off.
And the first one is a big one, a huge leap in technology. The state is teaming up with ISRO, that's India's space agency, to launch its own satellite. I mean, think about that for a second. For a state government to do this, that is a massive deal.
But look, this satellite isn't just some shiny object in space. It's designed to be a real workhorse. For one, it's going to provide real-time weather info to farmers, which is critical. Then it's also set up to make disaster management and emergency response way more effective. And on top of all that, the idea is to use it to kickstart emerging tech sectors like AI and blockchain. So you see, it's one tool, but it's tackling a bunch of different goals at once.
All right, the second big tool is just as important, and it gets right down to the basics, a complete overhaul of agriculture. A huge chunk of this, like 40%, is just focused on boosting productivity. But it doesn't stop there. The plan also gets into promoting exports, cutting down on waste by building new food parks, and even doubling the productivity of livestock. It's really covering all the bases.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. How does a big, long-term plan like this fit into the day-to-day world of politics and culture? Because you can bet these announcements didn't just happen in a vacuum. There's always more to the story.
Right around the same time, the government launched a 3-day campaign. It's called Har Ghar Tiranga, which basically means flag on every house. And the idea was simple: encourage everyone to fly the national flag at home right before Independence Day.
And the chief minister himself talked about this. He called the flag a symbol of unity and a mark of respect for the nation's heritage and freedom fighters. So the goal here seems pretty clear. Build up this shared sense of national pride and connect it to the government's bigger vision for the state's future.
Now here's where it gets interesting. During the big debate in the State Assembly about this vision document, the chief minister wasn't just talking about future plans. He also went on a pretty sharp offensive against his political rivals.
He took aim at a slogan used by the main opposition, the Samajwadi Party. Their slogan is PDA, which stands for Pichhda, Dalit, and Alpsankhyak. That's a reference to backward classes, Dalits, and minorities. But the chief minister took that acronym and totally flipped it. He said PDA really stood for Parivar Development Authority, Parivar meaning family. The accusation being that they were focused on developing their own family, not the public.
And this comparison really shows you how the government is trying to frame this whole debate. They're painting the opposition's view as being like a frog in a well, a very limited, narrow perspective. And they're positioning their vision as the exact opposite: broad, statewide, and aimed at comprehensive development for everyone.
And this kind of political pushback wasn't just a one-time thing. The chief minister also pushed back hard on claims that schools were being shut down. He argued that the education system has actually gotten better, and by doing that, he tied his political defense right back into that education pillar from his own vision document. See how it all connects?
So, okay, we've looked at the tech, the farming, the politics, the patriotism. It's a lot to take in. So what's the one big idea you should walk away with?
Here's the main takeaway. None of these things are separate events. The Vision 2047 plan, that's the big strategic framework. Then you have the tangible projects like the satellite and the agriforms. Those are the first real steps. And all that patriotic and political messaging, that's about getting everybody on the same page.
It's all part of one single, incredibly ambitious story about where Uttar Pradesh is headed.
And that really leaves us with one final big question. You have this incredibly ambitious roadmap all laid out. So what's the single biggest challenge to actually making it all a reality by 2047? As this grand plan starts to move from paper to the real world, that's the question we all need to be watching.